More and more households with children living in temporary accommodation as well. It's a 16% rise on the 2014 figures, and there's an 11% increase on the number of families with children living in B&B type accommodation. So that was a bit of a summary of the figures, and it doesn't present a very positive picture. But the £115 million announced in the budget to tackle rough sleeping and the government's protection of the homelessness prevention grant will help. But given the scale of the problem, more action is needed. Councils need new measures to help as many people avoid homelessness in the first place. And with Wales blazing a trail in this area, it's really encouraging to hear that the DCLG are seriously considering new legislation as a measure to tackle the problem. But we would hope that such a measure would receive adequate financial backing and cross-government support. I think it's crucial to remember, though, that the causes of homelessness are complex and that individual problems make so many people more vulnerable to the structural forces that make up our housing safety net. Available affordable housing for rent is set to almost disappear with the government's focus on increasing home ownership, and our analysis shows that we're going to have 370,000 fewer social rented homes in 2020 than we had in 2012. And bearing in mind that councils rely heavily on social housing to bring their full housing duty to an end, it accounted for 70% of all cases where a duty was ended since 2012. So with the projected loss of so many affordable rented homes, councils are facing an almost impossible task, and the private rented sector isn't expected to provide a viable solution. The loss of a private sector tenancy remains the single biggest cause of homelessness. In 2015, the loss of a private sector tenancy accounted for 30% of all acceptances. It's a figure that's almost doubled in 5 years. So welfare reform measures like the LHA single room rate, benefit sanctions and the benefit cap have just made it so much harder for people to avoid homelessness. And with further measures on the way, like the LHA cap to social sector rents, and particularly the impact of this on supported housing provision, it's a real concern for us. This, coupled with the projected loss of so many genuinely affordable homes for rent, as I said, just places local authorities in an almost impossible position without targeted government intervention and adequate financial backing in the long run.